Good evening from here. Good morning or good afternoon for those of us with a different time zone. I am Mazi Chika Austin, and we're here once again to equally talk, discuss issues that people ordinarily would not want us to talk about. Yes, people ordinarily would not want us to talk about it. People feel no one should talk about the evil ongoing, people feel uh, nobody should just condemn the satanic tendencies that's ongoing in Nigeria. But we're here to discuss it, irrespective of how the oppressors feel. We're here talking about it. I am Mazichika Austin, and this evening, because I think few days from now, we will be meant to see the lie of the century, which is that Nigeria is celebrating her independence. People will be believed to people will be believed to, you know, celebrate another repressive measures or repressive entity. People will be meant to celebrate their retrogressive mechanisms. People will be meant to celebrate a strong impediment to their development. That is how satanic people are. That is how, that is how, that is how funny people are. Not just people, so to say, but that is how funny Nigerians are. October 1st, everybody wants to talk about October 1st, but the question remains, what actually are you celebrating? Are you celebrating a functional state? Are you celebrating a progressive state? Are you celebrating an impediment, retrogression? Or are you even celebrating something that is created to destroy you, to destroy your children, to destroy your generations unborn? These are questions people should, as a matter of fact, ask themselves. When you say Nigeria, like most of us always said, I'm a Nigerian, people tend to, in fact, as a matter of fact, the political class would always say, talk about Nigeria, irrespective of what is happening. That is their mantra. Yeah, speak Nigeria, believe in Nigeria, talk about Nigeria. It doesn't matter what is happening, talk about Nigeria. And these people who are asking you to talk about Nigeria, the question I want to ask, do they even believe in Nigeria in the first place? Do they even believe do they even believe in humanistic Nigeria? Or they want you to talk about Nigeria because they want their estate, which the country is. They want their estate to remain irrespective of how destructive that estate have destroyed too many lives. So let's look at Nigeria, because we are looking at Nigeria from historical point of view, so that people will understand that the worst thing you can do to yourself, the most disservice you can do to yourself, is for you to believe in something that is not, something that is unbelievable. From origin, Nigeria as a country was not created to be a functional state. Believe you me, I will give you a clear instance why I said Britain, from 1914, they created the country. They knew that there is no how the country will be functional. Britain knows about, Britain knew that based on the political composition, based on what they want to achieve in future. In fact, when they created the amalgamation, the amalgamation of 1914, if you read the political statement of Lugard made it expressive to whosoever cares to hear that the essence of bringing the southern people and the northern people is for administrative convenience. Do you understand what that means? They never brought the north and south for economic purpose or for the economic betterment of the people. Like some people will tell you that some people who are naive about political system will come maybe because they are privileged to see some cash, and they come up and start talking about Nigeria. When Nigeria is united, is going to be better than Europe. That is just, to me, that is the most weak submission I've ever had. But when you look at the history, you find out that when Britain joined the northern and southern protectorates together, they never did that because they want the economic betterment of the people. Absolutely not. Do you understand that? Britain never joined the south and the north together because they wanted a politically viable Nigeria. That wasn't the purpose. Britain joined the southern and northern part of the country together in what we know as amalgamation of 1914 based on administrative convenience. They just wanted a place that would be easy for them to achieve their personal aim, their individual aims. But because people do not study, because people refuse to reason, because people refuse to embrace logic and rationality, and that's why you see somebody will just come out from his bed and start saying that Nigeria will be better. No, you have to understand that you cannot talk about roof without talking about foundation. And the bedrock of every discussion, the bedrock of everything you discuss, it is the origin. Or if we go by linguistic choice of word, we say etymology. You cannot talk about today without talking about tomorrow. In fact, without talking about yesterday. In fact, yesterday is much influential to today, and today is much influential to tomorrow. There's this interconnectivity, strong interconnectivity among the tripod phase. So people come up to that and say Nigeria will be better, Nigeria will be good. You hear people, especially those who attend church tomorrow, some gullible fellows there, they will say the Lord who said Nigeria will be good. Come on, listen. Countries are for humans, not for angels. You build countries by sense. You build countries by human inputs. You don't build countries by religious fatalism. You don't build countries by just illusion, by mere profession. Countries are built by tactical and strategical human impulse. So if you come up and say Nigeria will be better tomorrow, on what basis? Do you think that you just say it and then things fall in naturally? Because you refuse to study, because you got what Obasanjo described as half-baked education, education that is devoid of logic and rationality. And that's why you talk the way you want to talk. I want to tell you that from origin, Britain never created this country for the country to function. Britain created the country for administrative convenience. Go and make a research and see the submission of Lord Lugard. He said it's for administrative convenience, not for economic betterment of the occupant of that geographical expression. And not for any purpose than to make sure that the British market, which Nigeria is sustained. British estate is sustained. And that's why when they brought the obviously divided and not aligned people of South and North, they never brought them together because they want them to live together based on the context of unity. They never. That wasn't the original plan. Britain brought them together because Britain wanted to have a country within the time we are discussing that we sustain their industries, and in the future that will be a vassal state, a proxy and a protege of British international politics in Africa. That is what people do not understand. And that's why you keep on fasting and praying. The more you fast, the more demons punish the country. The more you go hunger strike in the name of fasting, the more you see things going on, in dysfunctional parts, because you do not understand how social system function. And it's unfortunate. So let's talk about why Nigeria will keep on disappointing those elements of fantasies, those who believe that things will work for this country. I want to tell you that Nigeria is created for Britain for two purposes. One, as a sustainable source of raw material to British industries. Two, as a vassal state, as a British handkerchief in Africa, or so to say, a British hand farm in Africa. That is, these two bases lies the premise at which the contraption, at which you were joined together and you were called a nigger area. Of course, nigger, a dirty place. Nigger, dirty area. And the combination of these two words formed you. And each time you say I'm a Nigerian, you are saying directly, say I'm a dirty fellow. That is how it is. Does it surprise you? And that's why nothing can function. Now, have Nigeria been sustaining British industry, or has Nigeria been a mercantile state to Britain? The answer is yes. Nigeria have been just a fuel for British industries. And even till today, are you aware that NMPC that started operation in 1979, I think I should be correct because that was the year they started with Petrobras, a Brazilian Brazilian national oil explorating company. That was the year. Are you aware that today NMPC said, I quote NMPC, that she does not know the number of crude that Shell takes from Nigerian soil? That is how dysfunctional this country is. That is how downgraded this country is. This is not new. She has been doing that. Britain understand that the more Nigeria lasts, the more she sustain her source of survivalhood. And that's why the so-called educated are just, piled up from your year one to your final year. You were taught to sustain the British estate. And that's why most of you come on social media, the first thing you said, I'm a dirty person by saying I'm a Nigerian. Because nobody told you that even the word Nigeria, nigger area, means you are a dirty fellow. And when they ask you, say you're a graduate. That's why Obasanjo could describe you as a half-baked. Because if you're fully baked, you should ask questions. The difference between you and the animal is ability to reason, says Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. When you don't reason, invariably you're an animal, or even less than that. So we are talking about, you say you're a country. You said you're a Nigerian. And till today, there is no tangible thing you can record of. Not even electricity. Not even roads. You can't even till today. Are you aware that Nigeria can never boast of having local engineers to fix her road? Nigeria roads, as common as road fixing, which every other African country use their indigenous engineers. Even when if foreign country is funding such project, they use indigenous engineers. It's a common thing. Do you know that till today in Nigeria you still see foreign construction companies? This is a country that calls herself a giant of Africa. I hope you understand. She still uses foreign engineers. What does that entail? That shows you that even at the level of road construction, she is not self-sustainable. That's why if you come to Nigeria, you see Arab contractors, I think owned by Egyptians. You see Cetraco, owned by the Arabs as well. You see, although Bega is an old one, you see CCE, you see all the rest of them. And what does that show? You pay these people, they repatriate the fund to their foreign land because, of course, the essence they are here is to make money and ship them home. As they are moving the fund, the naira the local currency is weakened because you pay them in local currency as you claim you have in your policy, financial policy. They move the local currency to dollar, but thereby weakening the local currency. And tomorrow you said there is unemployment. You said nothing is working. It's because at the level of creation, from the point of creation, the nation is meant to sustain foreign multinational companies. Of course, it is even a foreign multinational company that sold the country to Britain. Oh, you've not heard about Royal Niger Company. It was Royal Niger Company that sold Nigeria to Britain. And that's why until the last day of this country's disintegration, every multinational company can come, make money and go. In case you don't know, even a multinational company has won a case against Nigeria, which Nigeria is to pay 9.6 billion US dollar. A multinational company, P&ID, is so because it's a country that from the beginning it was created to sustain foreign business investors. Even now she's meant to. That's why even Shell, whatever you call them, and then mention them. Everybody comes and pack money and go. Because the British people understand that the best thing to do, if they want to keep on enriching themselves with the good-for-nothing nation, the best thing they have to do is to hand over the future administrators or the future administration of this part of the world to those who do not understand anything called political economy. British understand. They understand that if they want to maintain a long-lasting imperialism footprint, mercantilist footprint, they must hand over the governance of this country to those who, by all standard, are eluded of the concept and idea of political economy. And what did they do? They handed it over to the Fulanese. And guess what? What do the Fulani man understand when it comes to capitalism? What does he know when it comes to capitalism? It is only Fulanese, as far as cow business is concerned in West Africa, that have not even discovered how to maximize different value chains in cow business. Only Fulanese. They have a monopoly of that sector, yet that sector remains crude till today. Why countries like Australia, Singapore, Brazil have discovered millions of value chains, hundreds of value chains in cow business. Until today, they are generating different revenues from different value chains in cow business. It's only the Fulanis who only understand that in cow, the only thing you have to do is to sell the cow. That finishes. And the British people understand that these people don't understand commerce. They don't understand trade. What did Britain do? Britain made sure the best thing to do is to try to make sure that any way that the rest of the country are coming up to encourage a healthy competition, that way should be destroyed. And how did they achieve that? You should understand that what you have today is a unitary system of government, which some of you ignorantly called federal system. Some of you who are not, who are undergraduate school abale. When you ask them, they say, I'm a graduate. From where? You know. Some of you say we are practicing federalism. Of course, federalism died in 1967. That was when federalism died. So what am I trying to say? Britain understood that these people do not understand anything about economy. They do not understand anything about diplomacy. That the Fulanese are so complex, so unorganized as a result of their years of refusal to settle. You know, they are wandering race. And the one thing you must understand is that, like, somebody will tell you that, although it's jokingly said, but let me say it this way. People will tell you that drivers hardly, invest. They tell you that drivers spend their money carelessly. Do you know why? The reason being that drivers travel a lot. And as they are traveling, they don't understand the importance of settling at a point and start developing. So to the Fulanese, as wondrous as they are, British understand that they don't even know what building of city-state is all about. They don't know. Absolutely, they have no knowledge about that. And Britain understands that she needs such kind of people to continue her presence, exploitative presence in Nigeria. And that's why today, shockingly enough, most of you do not understand that. You will ask somebody a question, say, a Fulani man, you ask him a question, or whatever it is. You are having a teeming, youthful population. What are the policies on ground to make sure this population is integrated for the betterment of your economy? This is a question that was asked a man, because he does not even understand what political economy. He started reading thesis on climate change. In fact, he started by saying the president's, your excellencies at presence, secretary. He started reading thesis. People do not. 24th century, this this thing is happening in 21st century. Started reading climate thesis on climate change, and Britain is happy because to over number 10 Darwin Street, they understand that if this man does not understand what integration of youthful labor force is to the economy, to the mainstream or internal economic policies, macroeconomic policies of the state. If at 21st century these people don't even understand, the person saying he's leading the entirety of the nation don't even understand the difference between climate change discussion and youthful integration. So Britain, to them, they are still in charge. I hope you understand. So they never intend to see this country to be a progressive one. From creation, Britain never hoped, and that's why they put all effort they could to make sure that when different regions were competing, remember earlier before now, we have the western region, we have the northern region, we have the eastern region, and at that level every region was competing favorably. There was healthy competition, and British understood that if you allow this to continue, the eastern region will be so rich, will be technologically advanced, that they can help the rest of the regions without British aid. Understand this. They understand that within that federal system, if Eastern region is developed, there will be what we call a natural spillover. If Eastern region has perfected on railway transport, for instance, she can, ship down her engineers to Western region or even Northern region to help and develop their rail transport sector without even Britain coming in. So Britain understood the implication of allowing such a loose system, a healthy competitive system, which will be a strong, impediment to them. Britain understands this because Britain understood that if such structure was allowed to move on, that that it will get to a point. Sorry, call came in. I have to stop that call. So we'll move ahead because we don't have more time. So Britain understands that in a true federal system, there will be an internal assistance against external assistance. And they don't want that internal assistance to exist. What do I mean by this? Before 1967, we had Western region, we have Eastern region, we have Northern region. And history have this to say that the Eastern region was doing exceptionally well. In fact, by then you can ask some of your uncles or some of us, some of our fathers who are here with us, will confirm to the fact that people were sent from Eastern region to US to study, and their tuition fees were paid from here. Nobody was expecting money from anybody abroad. Rather, those abroad were receiving assistance from home. And remember, as of this time, the Eastern region had perfected in developing different value chains in palm oil business. They have perfected in developing different value chains. They have exploited, harnessed different value chains in palm oil business. And the revenue generated at that point was so high that the per capita income of a Biafran, an Easterner, as of the time we are discussing, was on a high side according to international rating. So Britain saw all this and said, if these guys are rich, invariably they have the technological know-how, they have that passion. There's this curiosity in every average Easterner to drive. We love challenge. We don't exist in a society where there is no challenge. That's why in our local language we will say and that wonderful philosophy have been carrying us on. So Britain look at us and say, with the way things are going, that they will get to a point that these people will finish developing their region and extend that gesture to other regions of Nigeria, thereby discouraging the rest of regions in Nigeria from seeking foreign assistance from Britain. Because no need for northern Nigeria to go to Britain when they can have such aid from the east. So Britain saw all these things. What did Britain did? Britain encouraged the Fulanis through the instrumentality of military dictatorship to destroy that healthy competition. Because they told the Fulanis, you can't compete with these people. The speed at which they are going, if you don't destroy this federal system and introduce a feed-in bottle system, which most of you ignorantly call today, you say you're practicing. Some of you say, oh, this is a Federal Republic of Nigeria. Rubbish. This is a Unitary Republic of Nigeria. It's a highly centralized system. But because one man told you in class that Nigeria is a federal system, and without you asking question, you just copy verbatim. Now, Britain encouraged them to destroy that structure as of this time, and they should introduce what we call unitary system, thereby forcing the Eastern region to work at pace with the rest of Nigeria. What do they mean? If Chinedu have scored 200 in JAMB and Musa scored 15, JAMB should consider to reduce her target or the score mark to 15 instead of 200 in order to carry Musa along. At worst, they will tell Chinedu, okay, you have scored 200, no problem. You will gain admission with 200. Musa, you will gain admission with 15. You understand? Musa will no longer bother himself to strive to even score next time up to 150. After with 15, he will still arrive at the same speed Chinedu arrived. And they came up and said, okay, we are going to have a structure whereby at the end of the month, Imo State, Zamfara State, all of you will go to Abuja and they will share the money and say, Zamfara, take 14 naira, Imo State, take 20 naira. Thereby making Zamfara State not to bother in developing any resources around her. And equally making Imo State to understand that if you work harder and get more money for the federal, we are going to distribute your money to the lazy Zamfara State that refuse to work. and thereby making Imo State not to even bother herself to seek for more revenue. After all, every more revenue she generates is being shared to the lazy states. And that is the point at which we are today. And some elements, some misguided and mentally degraded elements will tell me that United Nigeria will be better than Europe. In fact, when I heard that statement from somebody, I now recognize that you can pass cis without passing sense. That's what one old woman used to tell me those years but he said, passing cis without passing sense. You can be a PhD, but something is fundamentally wrong with your mind. So you cannot see the point at which we are. And look at what they did. One dangerous thing they did. They now came up with 3 constitutional structure. And I want to tell you this, even though it's the last thing we are going to talk about before the end of this program this evening, I think I'll be glad. 3 constitutional structure. And what is this 3 constitutional structure? These guys recognize that within the Eastern region, there is this passion, there is this hunger. People want to do something in order to win chieftaincy title from their village or their community. It's normal within the Biafran region, especially the Igbo. Somebody can come and say, I'm going to fix Onitsha Enugu Road, or age grade, within an age grade where you have billionaires. They can come up and put their resources together. They want to do it so that they can win title. They understand that such a lifestyle is inherent in us. Do you know what they did? They came up with 3 constitutional phase. They said 1, residual list. They say 1 is concurrent list. They say 1 is exclusive list. I'm going to explain. What do they have in exclusive list? That they said when it comes to road, that there are roads not even your state government can build, even when those roads are within your state. They came up and said on energy, light issue, that you cannot generate light. Not even your state government can do that. Why did they do that? They want a situation whereby because they understand that we can do things without waiting at government. It's in our nature. We can put our resources together. They now said, this road, don't go. Don't build it. We'll build. Knowing too well that they are not interested to build those roads for you. They prefer to build Kano roads. They prefer to build Kaduna road. They prefer to even develop villages in these areas. But those roads that are essential for your commerce, for your trade, they said you shouldn't build it. 2 days ago or 3 days ago, the presidency said that nobody should touch the federal roads. Even when the federal rules, a lot of goods of our people are falling, our people are losing their millions, our people, some of these billionaires in Onitsha, in Nnewi, in Aba, would want to, even though they are not going to construct to a perfect state, at least build, pour asphalt and stones. But they say nobody should ever dare. Why? Because they want you to remain impoverished. They want you to remain backward. They want you to remain at the pace at which they are developing. They believe that if there is no money to fix Kaduna Road, there should not equally, your own should not be fixed. And that's why if you're moving from Port Harcourt to Enugu, it's just a horrible zone. If you're moving from Onitsha to Enugu, you wish as if you're in hell. Not minding the magnitude of extortion. In fact, the worst is from Lagos to East. Sometimes SAS officers rob you. So this is the psychological torture we are passing through every day as a people in this hell. And somebody will say, don't mind, let's move on. If Americans never mind, would you have sold your portion of land in your village to go to America? If those in Europe never mind, would you have sold your land in your village to be in Europe? We must mind because we are humans. It is our right to mind. When we don't mind, we become animals. Because the difference between me and fowl is that fowl don't mind. Even in most cases, sometimes fowl mind. Sometimes they mind. How much more humans? And somebody will say, don't talk, don't speak. Don't ask for your own nation. Don't ask for rights to survive. So what am I trying to say this evening? We must understand that Nigeria as a nation is fundamentally created to fall. And that's why the Eastern nation, there is a drive for science and technology. There is a hunger for that. But someone believes, belief system, I mean to say, is that northern youths have not embraced IT. Most of northern youths don't even know what social media is. Somebody believes that the area of telecommunication and internet should not be developed and should not be encouraged to be developed until Musa and Adamu, who are still breastfeeding the cow milk, wakes up like me. I don't know if you understand. Somebody believes that it is better to put money in Ruga to get more cows so that Musa will have more cow milk to drink than to put money in education, because Chika and the rest of them have passion to go to school. You should understand again. They look at sectors their people are having comparative advantage. They understand their people might not really be crazy for education. Take for instance in Kano, Kwankwa, so the former governor of Kano, you learned he spent huge amount of money to send some of the northern Kano used to. I think I must commend him for that anyway, for objectivity purpose and sincerity of heart. He sent some of Kano youth abroad to study. And you could see them, when you see them in Ukraine, if you see some of these guys in Pakistan, they do as if they don't even know why they were sent there. But in Eastern region, no governor is even doing that. Rather, you will see somebody who doesn't have a mother, who doesn't have a father, an orphan. He goes to the farm in the morning, cut the palm fruit, process it, use the money to seek for admission. So we have this DNA in us to thrive, to succeed. Even when things around us is challenging us, we want to reconfigure our destinies and our situation, our future, for our own good. So, because these people understand that Musa is not ready to go extra mile for education, they now said, let us invest the money gotten from Eastern region. Remember oil. Let us sink it in Ruga. Hopefully, Musa can have a lot of kunu. Musa can have a lot of tuwo shinkafa miya kuka. Musa can have a lot of course, cow to go under and drink milk. Then, the Eastern people who are crazy about education, you are now struggling to even give lecturers 30,000 minimum wage. You're dumbling. Just understand how these people are. Areas they see, supposed to be encouraged, they won't, in as much as their people are not interested on that sector. Because their people do, in fact, have these repulsive tendencies over Western education. And that's why you see them and ASU, Academic Staff Union of University, and that of Polytechnic. You see them every day. This one said they will go strike, this one, they don't care. But come to Ruga, where Adamu will cross stick, and come to what they call nomadic education. There's another one they call nomadic education, that they will go inside the bush, take the education inside the bush to teach them. Come to nomadic education, find out how much they are spending on nomadic education. And ask me a question. Which country has ever built aircraft through nomadic education? Which country has ever built matches through nomadic education? They keep on wasting money where does not have revenue purpose. And by special grace of God, most of you will be in church tomorrow, especially in Debuarishi. Now, common sense, according that this country will be better. You are joking. No country saw angels coming down to visit. Not even state of Israel, that God loves so much. They've never seen angels coming to Feast Road. Somebody will tell you, pray for the country. Be making a lot of noise and come back with a lot of headache. Why wouldn't you have headache? Because when they are to make stupid noise and coming back to fool yourself. You know? So that is it. That is it. So what am I trying to say? It is not the plan of Britain to see Nigeria to function. I will shock you people with last information. They are very, very important. You know, people say, when you ask the likes of Gowon, thank you, Oluchi. If you ask the likes of Gowon, why did Nigeria fight the civil war? Why did the rest of Nigerians, killed over 3.5 million Igbos? They will tell you it's because of they want Nigeria unity. Then ask them, why do you want Nigeria unity? Because we want a better country. But I want to tell you, if killing of 3.5 million people was in search of unity, have Nigeria gotten that unity? After the civil war, Nigeria is still begging for unity. Till today, even while I'm speaking, they are still begging for unity. Are you aware that Rwanda, there was civil war between the Tutsi and the Hutus, although it is a genocide? But do you know that same Rwanda, after that war, are doing exceptionally well? America came out from her civil war, and today she's progressively doing well. Same applies to Britain. UK had her own civil war, but because Nigeria is created to fail, even after her civil war, they are still begging for unity till now. It is only country that every morning people wake up, what they want to pray is, God, don't allow this country to divide. Every day for over 100 years. Just ask them, why can't you solve this issue of unity? Because we are too hypocritical to understand that what you need is not prayer for unity. What you need is application of justice. When justice is applied, unity naturally falls in. It's as simple as that. I hope you understand that. But some of these people think you can get unity without justice. And that is one thing that, that disturbs me about Nigerians. Just like most of them believe you can go to heaven because you go to church tomorrow and make noise. As him say, brother, nom neligwe. Rubbish, pure rubbish. So, justice before unity, and not unity before justice. Most guys are saying, no, let's unite too, let's unite too. And ask the person that is calling of unite, why did the president said one side he will give them 5% and give the other person 97%, although it was only in that statement. I know that 97 plus 5 is about 102%. It was only Nigeria president mouth. I know there is something called the 102%. But we must continue. We must continue. So what am I trying to say? Justice before unity, and not unity before justice. So when you think unity is only when it is mutually, or when it is defined according to your concept, you are kidding. You are kidding. And for your information, Nigeria can never be united. Can never. Because when it comes to unity, there must be a purpose of mind. When there is multifaceted visions and disagreeing visions among the people that are found within the union, there are bound to be failure. And that's why Nigeria will continue failing. Why? Because somebody believes that it is better to invest hugely in Ruga than education. And somebody is saying that Western education is bad. Why? Somebody is saying, akwụkwọ na-atọ ụtọ, ọ na-arahụ ka mmụta, onye were nkasi obi, ọ ga-amụta akwụkwọ. Somebody is saying, no, Boko Haram, which means book is forbidden. And you said these people will have, we have unity. That is pure lie. So I think at this moment we must realize that Nigeria can never be united. The unity you are experiencing now is unity first with rifle, first with bullet. And that is not unity. That is coercion. You are coercing the people. It's a coercion. You are getting the people forcefully fused into. Make no mistake about that. That is not what is called unity. This country can never be united. Take it or you leave it. So I want to appreciate everyone here. Thank you so much for patiently being with us, and I believe we keep on coming, we keep on discussing this until the right thing is done. And of course, I would equally want to let those to whom it may concern to understand that nothing can stop us from talking. Yes, nothing can stop us from talking to whom it may concern. Doesn't matter what you call your concern. If you think our talks are disturbance to you, you should first of all get rid of those who are slitting the throats of innocent people. Very, very important to understand that. So, thank you so much. I'm Mechuoka Biama Purimi preserve us. And finally, to those of you who will go to church tomorrow, don't deceive yourself with that evil prayer that God should unite Nigeria. Nothing like that. God cannot be interested or be part of something he never created. The day Lugard and Florence Shaw were having initiation about Nigeria, they were doing that under the spirit of Akwamiko. not under the Spirit of God. So from here, I want to say good night and Mechko Gabiama bless us. Bye from here.